There are so many things I wish I could tell my 20-year-old self. Simply graduating from high school and moving on to college and then feeling like the world is in front of you and there's so much opportunity, but being completely confused at where to actually go. I was thinking back on this the other day, and I was thinking about myself being the old soul that I was, constantly living 5 years in advance. When I was 16, I wanted to be 18. When I was 18, I wanted to be 21. When I was 21, I wanted to be 25. And there was just this feeling that maybe if I just thought of some of these things, I could share them with you. So number one is stop rushing your life away. You are right where you're supposed to be. So if you didn't get into the college you wanted to go to and you ended up somewhere else, it's perfect. If you aren't majoring in the same thing that you started out thinking you were gonna major in, it doesn't matter. All of the things that you think are lifelong pauses that are only stopping you from being as great as you're gonna be are actually exactly what you needed to get where you're supposed to be. The journey is full of bumps, speed bumps, some of them divots, some of them are really big ditches, and you're gonna fall in a couple, but you're gonna end up right where you're supposed to be. They make you stronger, they help you get where you're supposed to be. And I think rushing through our lives is something that I personally was doing a lot of. I always wanted to be in that next stage. And when you're looking at the next stage too much, you're not able to be present where you are. You're not able to fully enjoy the moments to the level that you could. And you're missing a ton of experiences. Number two is protect your brand. Now thinking back, this is something I did quite often, but maybe I could have done even better. Protecting your brand, what does that mean? It means be aware that the game is long, not short. Sometimes we think that there's so much time to make up for everything. So we just talked about stop rushing, but at the same time, you can't have this view that whatever I do today won't matter tomorrow. If you do cheap things now, those cheap things can get you in a really big pickle. And I think that protecting your brand means remember who you're posing for pictures with, what's in the pictures, who the videos are, what you're saying. Like, be mindful that your future self will look at this one day, and it's okay. I don't want you to judge every aspect of living your life and being present, but I do want you to remember that if you think you're made for something special or something big, don't ruin it now by being stupid. Be better than that. Think bigger than that. Your brand is something that you will own for the rest of your life. Number three is I wished I spent a little less time in the me zone and a whole lot more time in the you zone. Give more than you take. Life gives to the givers and takes from the takers. When you are young, you think you can control everything. I thought I could control everything. I was like, I'm gonna control this, I'm gonna do this, and if I just do this, this will happen, and that'll happen. You are so less in control than you think. What you wanna focus on is how much you can give to the world, how much you can give to the teacher that's teaching you, how much you can give to your friends and your relationships, how much you can give to yourself to learn and grow, to your family. The very people that helped you get there a lot of times are the very people that we shun the minute we get to the next stage of our lives. It's really powerful to just think about giving of yourself, not taking from the world. And it's something that if I were talking to myself, I'd be saying, Scott, please give more, think less about yourself. And I don't mean just about the ego. I really just mean about the power of kindness, the power of giving, the power of growing and ending up in the right spot just because you focused on something outside of yourself. This leads me right to number four, which is hard choices, easy life, easy choices, hard life. Now you might have heard this saying many times. I know I have. I don't know that I knew what it meant in my early adulthood, but here's what I could say. The easiest choices we make are often the ones that give us the hardest results. The easy decision to go ride in a car with someone that's been drinking, or to just take a taste or a try of something just once. Maybe it's going and forgetting that you have that long-term vision, those core values, that brand, and making the easy decision for a night versus the long-term mindset that you know you have for a purpose. The hardest decisions that we make are the ones that end up leading us in the best parts of our life. Do I go to law school? Do I not go to law school? Do I study for this exam so that I can have a better grade? Do I give my first year everything I've got, or do I just throw it away because it's only the first year? It's so valuable. But easy choices will lead you to a harder life. The easy life sucks. You will live in pain and discomfort and frustration with easy choices if that's all you make. Number 5, read, listen, learn. I always loved to learn. I was always curious, but I didn't always stop and pause and take time in my life to read, to listen, and to learn. The education in books that I read today, I read all the time, incessantly, and I have for a long time now. But when I discovered that as a secret to, like, a cheat code in life, by learning from other people, by gaining mentorship, not just from people that were in my life, but people I could read about, it was a secret code to a great future. Reading more. I say listen more today because podcasts exist. Listen to other stories. Listen to other people's journeys. You want to be a professional in a certain area, or you're in a job that you don't really love, listen to people that are doing things that you're interested in. Listen to people that have failed at things that you want to try. These are ways to shorten the gap and lead you to a better, successful life that I wish I would have spent more time pausing and thinking about. Learning is just the ultimate, and that is when you're in college, even outside of college, you have more free time than you'll ever have in your entire life. It doesn't always have to be spent doing fun social things, which I spent a lot of time doing. I don't regret any of that, but I do look back and wish I would have gone to more of the things that the college put on, or expanded upon some of the lessons, or spent some time asking extra questions from some of my favorite teachers. Like, there are things that I could have done differently that if I'm looking back and I'm telling myself, you should do these things, I just think read, listen, learn encapsulates all of that. Number 6 is really special. The energy that you put out into the world is the energy that you will receive. Energy output is energy input. What does that mean? That means if you walk through the world angry, with your head down, closed off to everybody, you're going to get a lot of what you expect. If you go through the world opened up, looking for positivity, finding optimism, finding opportunities, challenges that are presented are creating opportunities for you. You are seeing the light, not the darkness. It is so amazing what will come your way. And I also know this because there were many times I spent in darkness. There was many times where I got into my own head and I couldn't get out of it. And I just felt like, man, I'm never gonna be what I know I can be, or I'm not doing enough, or I don't feel like I'm gonna reach my potential, or maybe this is too hard, I should quit. Whatever it is, I felt it. And, you know, even in breakups, like, you think it's the worst thing in the world. And you go in this dark spot, but you're the energy you put out in the world. If you go out and you start putting positive energy, smiles, head up, confident, you will get everything that you want in your life. Number 7 is get comfortable with being uncomfortable. If you're not challenging yourself in uncomfortable moments, if you're not thinking bigger along the way, get uncomfortable. Get uncomfortable in rooms. What do I mean by that? I mean swim big. Don't swim small. Don't always just float down the river and see where you end up with the beer in your hand. Be around people that are doing big things. Who are the most successful people out of that university? Who are the most successful people in your field? How can you learn from them? How can you be in the rooms with them? How can you get uncomfortable? How can you challenge yourself internally as well? How can you build more mental stability? Uncomfortability can, yes, in the short term be very challenging. It can have anxiety, it can have depression, you can have frustration. All these things come from getting uncomfortable. But on the other side of a lot of that stuff is something that's a breakthrough. It's an opportunity. It's a new version of you. Getting comfortable with getting uncomfortable is something that will lead you to lots of opportunities in your life. And if I'm talking to myself at 20, 25, just before 30, I'm saying, try more things. Get uncomfortable. It's okay. You don't have to do everything that makes you feel good. It's actually good to do some things that make you feel uncomfortable. These are things that will help guide you because I know they would have helped guide me. They're things that I've implemented over the course of the last 20 years to actually be better, a better version of myself than I was all those years ago. And I think if we're just working on getting a little bit better every day, it's not a bad thing. And I know that that's a big statement to make, but I know that if you watch these videos, if you like the high performance life, if you've been the kind of kid that played sports, did dance, did school, made good grades, worked hard, was a good kid. Maybe you're somebody that just always had this creative bug inside of you and you haven't tapped into it yet, but you know there's something bigger in you. Then you understand this messaging. You understand that if these things can help you be better, you're ready to implement them now.